Hello, and welcome to our 2021 Science and Inventors Fair Awards programs. We'd like to let you know that every student that receives a special category, Best of Fair, or other such award will soon receive those awards. However, due to the pandemic and the challenges of putting on a virtual fair, it's going to take us a little bit of time to get all those awards to you. So please know that students, once the awards programs premiere and you've heard your names and you've celebrated with your families, we will be sending out all of your awards to your school so that the schools can present you with the awards, the prizes, and the materials that you've earned. That way, you and your school community can celebrate accordingly. Again, on behalf of the Thomas A. Edison Regional Science and Inventors Fair Steering Committee, we are so proud of your efforts in both our inventors and science fairs, and we look forward to bright things to come. Thank you for participating in our fairs, and congratulations on all your success.
Now presenting our host for the 2021 Thomas Edison Kiwanis Regional Science and Engineering Fair Award Ceremony, STEM Coordinator for the School District of Lee County, Lee Hughes.
Hello, and welcome to our 2021 Thomas Alva Edison Kiwanis Regional Science and Engineering Fair Awards Program. My name is Lee Hughes, STEM Coordinator for the School District of Lee County, Director of the Regional Science and Engineering Fair, and co-chair of the Thomas A. Edison Regional Science and Inventors Fairs, along with Dr. Gary Nelson. And I'll be your host this evening. Tonight, we are recognizing some of the top STEM students in all of Charlotte and Lee counties. But first, a little bit about our organization. The Thomas A. Edison Regional Science and Inventors Fair, also known as TARSIF, has a steering committee that works year-round to organize regional STEM events that annually host over 1,200 local students at regional competitions and engage nearly 30,000 students in STEM projects at a school level. Over the years, our Edison Fairs program has grown into the largest pre-collegiate STEM program competition in Southwest Florida and includes 3 signature events: the Thomas Alva Edison Kiwanis Regional Science and Inventors Fair, the Thomas A. Edison Festival of Light Regional Inventors Fair, and the Suncoast Credit Union Elementary Science Expo. TARSIF is a sanctioned event of the Edison Festival of Light, as well as 3 affiliations with the State Science and Engineering Fair of Florida, the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair, and our newest affiliation with the Henry Ford Invention Convention U.S. Nationals. In addition to our title sponsors, special recognition has been acknowledged for one of our original sponsors with title recognition as follows: the Thomas A. Edison Regional Science and Inventors Fairs presented by SONY Electronics, Inc. Our TARSIF steering committee is comprised of representatives from Southwest Florida educational institutions, as well as public and private organizations and businesses. All parties are interested in promoting a sound education in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, also referred to as STEM fields, while instilling a working knowledge of each person's intrinsic right to benefit from his or her creative, problem-solving, and critical thinking skills through application of the scientific, inventive, and entrepreneurial processes. As an organization, we strive to expand knowledge of STEM fields, including opportunities to participate in the invention process. We also offer a valued experience for students, teachers, and our local community. Now, many of you know us as a STEM competition program, which spans the Science Fair, Inventors Fair, and Elementary Science Expo. But what you may also not know is our fair program extends well into the community and into year-round opportunities, such as summer camps. For years, nearly 2 decades, we've had students going from our fairs to summer camp programs, including the summer research opportunity at Florida Gulf Coast University. And more recently, we have students in grades 4 and 5 that go to Florida Southwestern State College for our STEM Buccaneers camp. We've also added an art contest in which students from our elementary, middle, and high schools design the t-shirt design as well as the face mask design that we use in our fairs. We also have students that move on to State Science Fair, which we have a rich tradition of sending student participants and also winning at that fair. Here now is an opportunity to look at the last couple of times we've been to State Science Fair. Our middle school students also have opportunities to participate in national programs such as the Broadcom Masters, the premier STEM event for middle school students. Not only have our students been nominated and participated, but we have a rich history of sending students to be semifinalists and finalists in the Washington, D.C. competition. Our science fair program has a rich tradition of sending students to the international level of competition. For years, we've been sending students to the International Science and Engineering Fair, which takes place in cities all across North America. What's it like to attend the International Science Fair? Let's take a look.
We have kicked off our first ever Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair, virtual edition, the world's largest pre-college science competition. The contributions of every student further their and our understanding of the world and improves the way that we work and live, representing over 50 countries, regions, and territories. Let's take a look as we get together around the world.
One of the most exciting parts of planning virtual Regeneron ISA was bringing together top minds from around the world to share their stories and breakthroughs with you. You will learn from some amazing individuals.
Get excited about the forefront of discovery.
Through a lot of times of turmoil and darkness come a lot of innovation.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced us all to think differently.
Learning can happen anywhere and oftentimes in unexpected places.
Keep your eyes open, your ears open, and your brain turned on. 15 to 30% of the time that you try something, you should fail.
If they all work, right, you're not trying hard enough.
No, that's right. You're right.
Focus on your curiosity, where you think you really will have the drive and the passion.
This is important. This is something that I need to push and just be an advocate for underrepresented students.
Having a hands-on project-based learning experience is so critical for young people to develop their career path.
To see all of the amazing projects and all these kids who've devoted months, sometimes years of their lives to expanding the curiosity about a subject, that translates into actual real-world impacts. It all just starts in this sort of incubator of science fairs.
I'd like to now turn it over to questions from some of our finalists.
How, mechanically speaking, can CRISPR be used for COVID-19 detection?
Cas12 and Cas13 can be programmed with an RNA guide to recognize the virus sequence.
The Commons features exhibit booths from several colleges and universities. Visit the STEM Experiential Hall, where organizations, museums, and zoos are offering virtual STEM experiences and activities. You can also learn more about our amazing volunteers, sponsors, and your host, Society for Science and the Public. Now more than ever, it's important for those of us in the science and engineering community to communicate, to support each other, and to share the bond that we all have, the universal language of science.
Each and every one of you have that power inside of you. So why not be you? That kid that goes on to change and save the world. And I hope it is each and every one of you.
Our regional fairs and underwriting of student expenses for the fairs is possible because of support from the Fort Myers Kiwanis Club, SONY Electronics Inc., Charlotte and Lee County Public Schools, Florida Gulf Coast University, the Edison Festival of Light, Florida Southwestern State College, and the Scientist Society of Southwest Florida, just to name a few of the dozens of community partners that make our STEM program so successful. Our competitions showcase students from across Southwest Florida who will become our future scientists, technology experts, engineers, mathematicians, and entrepreneurs. The regional program celebrates achievement by elementary, middle, and high school students, supported by their parents, teachers, and schools. For more information on how you can contribute, check out our sponsors page on our website, edisonfairs.org. And don't forget, you can follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or you can share your STEM story by using the hashtag EdisonFairs. And now a message from School Board member Kathleen Morgan, District 7.
Hello, and welcome to our 2021 Edison Fairs. When I heard 400 students chose to participate in the 2021 virtual Thomas A. Edison Regional Science and Inventors Fairs, I was thrilled. Despite daunting challenges attending school and classes this year, you didn't allow COVID to shut you down. Your curiosity and strong desire to solve problems was undaunted. Kudos to you. I love science because you ask questions, and whether your answers are what you expected or predicted, you and everyone who shares your passion for that subject learn something from your conclusions. Your commitment to the pursuit of science and invention reminded me of my high school classmate, Bill Phillips. He was renowned in our school as an endlessly curious, passionate scientist and winner of science fairs. Ultimately, he became fascinated with the movement of atoms and invented an instrument now used worldwide in laboratories so he could explore and change human knowledge about atoms. For his exploratory work and invention, he was awarded the 1997 Nobel Prize in Physics. So stay at it. There are mysteries to solve and new instruments are needed to solve them. Thank you for your curiosity and grit.
Now, Savannah Cooper, 8th grade Mariner Middle, and Maxwell Calendro, 11th grade Dunbar High School said, "What makes you the inquisitive person you are today? What makes a good question? What motivated you to keep asking questions and learning? And how did you end up in science?"
Yeah, well, it's a good question, but lots of times when I feel compelled to say that something is a good question, what it means is it's a hard question to answer. So I often think that everyone is curious when they're young, and probably the younger you are, the more curious you are. When I go and talk to a class of kindergartners, they are asking me everything. And when I will do some demonstration, they're just right up there wanting to see what's going on. And I sometimes imagine that scientists are just kindergartners who never really grew out of that childlike curiosity. So I guess one answer to the question might be that the reason that I'm curious is the same reason that I'm a scientist, that I never grew out of that natural curiosity. I'm just continuing to do what any kindergartner would do, which is ask lots of questions.
So, Dr. Gary Nelson and fifth grade students at Ray V. Pottorff Elementary, Jose Kalis, Lily Devesme, and Melissa Gideon, asked about your science fair experiences.
Yeah.
What were your interests? Did you participate in science fairs? And I know you did. I also know you won a big award, which you might talk about. And do you recall if one was a favorite and if you ever had one go wrong or you didn't get the outcome you expected?
Well,
which is all.
Of course, one of the things you got to remember is that talking about science fairs is a really long time ago. That's almost 60 years ago. And so remembering the details of those science fairs might not be completely accurate when I tell you what little I do remember. So I guess my favorite science fair projects, I had a couple of science fair projects trying to use ways of tracking the motion of subatomic particles. So what I mean is, let's say that you've got some radioactive substance and it's decaying and it's spitting out these particles. We call some of these particles alpha particles and some of them are beta particles. And there are devices that people have developed over years, like cloud chambers and bubble chambers and spark chambers, for tracking the particles. So when the particle goes along like this, you can see a picture of where the particle has been. And you might have even seen some of these pictures in books or articles about these big particle accelerators like they have in Geneva or like they have in outside of Chicago at Fermilab. Well, I was trying to make things like that. And I guess that one of the reasons why doing those things was a favorite thing to do was that I had to learn a lot of stuff in order to do it. And that was great. I remember I actually wrote a letter to a national laboratory. I had no idea, what would happen to this letter. I didn't have anybody there that I knew the name of, and somebody since I now work in a national laboratory, I can imagine what happened. It went to the public affairs office. The public affairs office said, now who am I going to give this to? And gave it to somebody. And this poor schmuck had to read my letter and write a very kind answer describing things, that maybe I didn't understand very well. That was great, having a contact like that with an honest to goodness scientist. So that was one of the things I remember fondly.
Throughout our awards program, we'd like to spotlight some student projects from this year's fairs in a segment we call Edison Fairs Spotlight. Here now is a look at our first project.
COVID-19 has made a major impact in my life and in others around me. One major transition I had to adapt to was wearing a mask. Various masks are made of different materials. Some people wear commercially available masks, while others wear their own homemade masks. In a classroom setting, communication is valuable between a student and teacher in order to learn. My project focuses on which common types and mask alternatives effectively reduce respiratory droplet transmission and are the best for sound transmission. I used 10 different masks in my experiment. Cloth mask, face shield, cotton mask with filter, homemade mask, neck gaiter, surgical mask, valved N95, N95, clear mask, and valve cotton mask. I used a laser sheet to test the efficacy of each mask blocking respiratory droplet transmission. First, we'll have to put on some safety glasses before we turn on the laser. I'll hand a pair of safety glasses to my cameraman. I used a Class 3A green diode laser to create a laser beam. The laser beam then goes through the cylindrical lens. The lens expands the laser beam vertically to create a laser sheet. Now I'll put this box over the laser to reduce any stray light coming from the laser beam. The laser sheet then travels through this tunnel and reflects off of this mirror. The laser sheet then goes through the testing chamber, reflects off of another mirror, and terminates by hitting this cardboard box. An 18-inch diameter hole was cut out, allowing the speaker to talk during experimentation. A camera was then placed on the opposite side of the testing chamber to record during experimentation. After each trial, a HEPA filter is turned on for 2 minutes to clear out any unwanted particles inside of the testing chamber. The camera is then turned on for 20 seconds. The first 5 seconds serve as a baseline, while the next 10 seconds allow the speaker to repeat the phrase, "Stay healthy, people," 5 times. This process is then repeated 5 times for each mask and the no mask. After respiratory droplet testing, the videos are then imported into a software called ImageJ. ImageJ separates the frames from the videos, making it easier to count the respiratory droplets. Here's a sample of the no mask testing. The green dots that you see here on the screen are the respiratory droplets interacting with the laser sheet. The N95 mask did the best in restraining respiratory droplet transmission. The neck gaiter and cotton mask did the worst in restraining respiratory droplet transmission. For sound transmission, I built a soundproof chamber made out of cardboard and egg crate foam, which acted as a sound absorber. I installed a Bluetooth speaker inside of a mannequin head, which was then placed inside of the soundproof chamber. 6 feet opposite to the mannequin head was where a microphone was placed to record sound. The microphone acted as a social distancing listener. I used Audacity open source software to create a 45-second recording, which included 9 different frequency intervals, each lasting 5 seconds. This process was then repeated 3 times for each mask and the no mask. For more realistic speech, I created 3 10-second recordings using a consistent speech level. This process was repeated 3 times for each mask and the no mask. The neck gaiter and cotton mask performed the best in sound transmission testing, while the clear mask and face shield did the worst in sound transmission testing. Here are the top 5 performing masks. Overall, the surgical mask did the best in restraining respiratory droplet transmission and did the best in sound transmission. The surgical mask was then followed by homemade mask, N95 mask, valved N95 mask, and valve cotton mask. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.
And now, for the reason we're here this evening, our 2021 Science and Engineering Fair Awards. This year presented a lot of obstacles, a lot of issues, and a lot of concern over how we're going to conduct the fair appropriately. We have to first thank all of our teachers and schools for participating in the fairs and for promoting students doing project-based learning in the classroom. While this is our 64th annual Science and Engineering Fair, it is our first ever virtual science fair. In all, 29 schools participated in the fairs this year. That means 170 students from Charlotte and Lee County entered our Science and Engineering Fair. And because we did our judging online and virtually using Z-Fairs, over 700 virtual judgings have taken place in the past couple of weeks. And why, do you ask, should students participate in our Edison Fairs STEM program? Because it is through this program that all students have an opportunity to present their work to the public, other students, and some of the approximately 300 judges that participate annually in our fairs. All participants receive a certificate of participation. We will also be presenting awards for Best of Fair, First Place, Second Place, Third Place, and Honorable Mention Merit Prizes awarded in the Junior and Senior Division of Regional Science Fair. Projects in the Junior-Senior divisions are also eligible to be selected to compete as finalists in the State Science and Engineering Fair, Florida, later this March. Selected grand prize recipients advance to an all-expenses paid entry to the International Science and Engineering Fair. Selected winners in the junior division are eligible for further competition in this year's Broadcom Masters competition, which, fingers crossed, will take place live in person in Washington, D.C. this fall. In addition, over 30-plus area companies, private, professional, and governmental organizations present special awards based on each organization's criteria. We begin our awards program with our special awards, starting first with AIM, Engineering and Surveying Incorporated, $50 cash awards presented to Sephora Esperance, Canterbury School, Jingyi Hang, Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts, Tyler Gerlich, Trafalgar Middle School, Jay Chavakula, Canterbury School, and Jacob Silver, Cypress Lake High School. Congratulations to our students, and thank you, AIM Engineering. The American Association of University Women Women in STEM Award, a certificate and $500 award, plus luncheon invitation presented to Senior Division, Kaylin Statina, Lehigh Senior High School. Congratulations, and thank you to the American Association of University Women. Staying with the American Association of University Women, their First Timer Award, a certificate and $100 award, plus an invitation to a future luncheon, is presented to Senior Division, Kiki Zhang, Bonita Springs High School. Congratulations, and thank you once again to the American Association of University Women. Our American Meteorological Society certificate presented to the team project of Lillian Keller and Jax Mendelson, Lemon Bay High School, and Morgan Barnes, Canterbury School. Congratulations, and thank you to the American Meteorological Society. Our American Psychological Association Achievement in Psychological Science, a certificate is presented to Morgan Rossellini, Canterbury School. Congratulations, and thank you, American Psychological Association. This year's ASM Materials Education Foundation, a certificate is presented to Junior Division Project, Abigail Kohler, Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts. Congratulations, Abigail, and thank you to ASM Materials Education Foundation. The Association of Women Geoscientists, a certificate is presented to, from the Senior Division, Maggie Taylor, East Lee County High School. Congratulations, Maggie, and thank you to the Association for Women Geoscientists. Let's take a moment to look at our next Edison Fair Spotlight.
Hello, my name is Jay Chavakula. I am a senior in high school, and this year, my project is on the utilization of dimples to reduce wind load on parabolic structures. Investigative question. Well, first off, why is this important? Well, as cities become more densely populated, engineers are forced to build buildings higher and higher. The problem that arises is that at higher altitudes, higher wind velocities occur. These wind velocities often cause buildings to sway, and swaying buildings often cause structural damage to their integrity. When a building's frequency at which it sways at matches the building's natural frequency, the building resonates, and this resonance actually can cause buildings to fall over. A lot of the times, engineers try to prevent this by spending more money on a foundational base, but this does not need to be the case. If engineers adjust the design of their building, buildings will be able to divert the winds better. And that was my goal. I wanted to employ the structural designs of tapering and softened corners, and this led me to the parabola shape. I then wanted to add dimples to my structure because I've always seen dimples on a golf ball. And the reason why they're so important is because, as you see here, there's less flow separation on a golf ball rather than a smoothened ball because of the turbulent boundary layer that wraps around it, rather than a laminar boundary layer that's just causing bluff force. Next, I need to know how to organize my dimples. And I wanted to organize my dimples in a twisting arrangement because, as you see here, I wanted there to be some type of direction for where the wind can be diverted to. How did I do this? To do this, I used the Tinkercad, a computer-aided design program, to create these two prototypes. The dimples of my experimental groups the dimples are actually directly proportional to the diameter. So as the diameter gets smaller, the dimples also get smaller. For more information, please see the procedure. I first wanted to convert this into a 2D image and test it in a 2D flow illustrator. What we see here is that in the control group, the vortexes are much more turbulent and faster, while here there's larger vortices forming at a slower rate. I then wanted to test my prototype in a 3D simulator. I used SimScale, a computational fluid dynamics simulator. Specifically, I ran an incompressible simulation model. First, I looked at it from this perspective, just looking at velocity. And what I saw, if I was to freeze the image, is higher levels of separation between the two vortexes here, rather than just a large bluff region from the control group. I then wanted to look at it from the Z perspective. And right now we are looking at the bottom of the paraboloids. And what we see, if I was to freeze the image again, is again having larger separation between vortexes rather than an entire bluff region. And to me, this was important because I wanted to promote vortex shedding in the experimental group, as seen in the 2D simulation, because I believe this would actually slow down and divert the winds. Then I looked at the particle trace, but the particle traces look extremely similar between the control and experimental group. So instead, I looked at the turbulence model. And what I saw was later levels of separation in the experimental model, while separation into turbulence is almost immediate in the control model. And there's higher turbulence in the vortex, while this entire thing seems to be turbulence. What surprised me, though, was when I looked at the models from a pressure perspective, there were higher pressures in the experimental model. I believe this is because of the pressures that are being captured in the dimples. And in the future, I would like to repeat this with more shallow dimples at the bottom, because I believe that there will be less pressure and less drag as well. Because when I looked at the graphs for drag, there was higher levels of drag in my experimental graph. What's important to remember is that the one downfall with SimScale is that I'm not able to standardize my y-axes. And I would have liked to honestly create my own graphs, but SimScale has an infinite amount of data points, so this would not have been possible. Next, I performed a statistical analysis looking at the convergence graphs. And what I saw was that after 500 seconds, a convergence occurs below 0.05 at all values. And that was statistically significant enough for this study. In the future, I would actually like to 3D print my model and test it in a professional wind tunnel, but since I do not have any accesses to professional wind tunnels, I could not do it. Thank you for your time, and I hope to talk to you about this soon.
This year, we'd like to nominate the following projects from our junior division for the 2021 Broadcom Masters program. Broadcom Masters is the premier STEM event for middle school students. Nomination packets will be presented to the following students: Elsie Cribbs, Anika Koka, Courtney Hahn, Aiden Schiffhauer, Andrea Gibbs, Kaylee Della Luna, Zachary Engel, Christopher Pino, Julia Bendek, Maria Urakawa, Michaela Mitchell, Natasha Agarwal, Jessica Marchese, Jackson Moaning, Angelina Doherty, Reagan McLeod, Kurakula Soraya Fernando, Sephra Esperance, Sophia Smith, Ryan Kronreiter, Amaya Griffin, Davis Wald, Mehereen Chowdhury, Miles Hammond, Logan Stur, Michaela Hart, Charlie Della Luna, Sarah Engel, Sophia Mayes, Samantha Mitchell, Jaya Naik, and Mason Huffman. Congratulations to all these students, and we expect you to apply for this year's Broadcom Masters program. For the past 5 years, we have been honored to have the Chief Information Officer STEM Award of Excellence. This year, these students will receive a STEM plaque and Dell laptop computer presented to the following students: Samantha Mitchell, St. Francis Xavier Catholic School; Amaya Griffin, Trafalgar Middle School; Vanessa Kinley, Bonita Springs High School; and Maya Chandar, Canterbury School. A special thank you to Mr. Trey Davis, Chief Information Officer for the School District of Lee County, for sponsoring this award. And to all our students, congratulations. Earthshine Institute Argonauta Scholars presents commendations to alumni of the Earthshine program, including Amaya Echeverry, Dhruv, and Michaela Fisher. This year's Earthshine Institute Argonauta Scholars Award, a certificate and $2,000 scholarship, is presented to the following 2 projects: Morgan Barnes, Canterbury School, and Vanessa Kinley, Bonita Springs High School. Thank you, Earthshine Institute, for your dedication and support. And now for a word from Earthshine Institute.
Hello, my name is Jared Riegel, and I'm a trustee and board member of the Earthshine Institute. Today, I will be presenting 2 Argonauta Awards to students whose projects reflect an understanding of the critical balance between the advancement of technology and the preservation of our natural environment, which is important for the continued quality of life on our planet. In addition to being named Argonauta Scholars, students who receive the Argonauta Award become eligible for a $2,000 scholarship towards their college education from the Earthshine Scholarship Fund. Please join me in congratulating Morgan Barnes and Vanessa Kinley on being named this year's Argonaut Scholars. I would also like to take a moment and recognize our returning scholars from 2019 and 2020 for their continued work in science and the environment. Michaela Fisher, Amdaruv, and Amaya Echeverry. Again, congratulations from a fellow Argonaut Scholar to all of you for your outstanding work and commitment to the Earthshine mission.
The Florida Association of Science Teachers presents a certificate and $25 cash award to the following two projects. From the Junior Division, Ambrielle Calixe, Mariner Middle School, and Senior Division, Maya Alion, Canterbury School. Congratulations to these two students, and thank you to the Florida Association of Science Teachers. Another one of our long-standing special award sponsors is Florida Power and Light. This year's Energy Awards, a certificate and cash award, are presented to the following projects. Sarah Solomon, Trafalgar Middle School, $100. Ethan Wilson, Estero High School, $150. And Jack Calder, Estero High School, $250. Congratulations to these three students, and thank you, Florida Power and Light. The Florida Native Butterfly Society Excellence in Animal, Earth, and Plant Sciences Award of Family Day passes are presented to the following projects. All students with projects in animal sciences, earth and environmental sciences, and plant sciences projects will be receiving this award. Congratulations to all these students, and thank you to the Florida Native Butterfly Society. And now, let's take a look at another one of our projects in an Edison Spotlight.
Antibiotics have truly changed our lives for the better. However, they have also been one of the most overly prescribed medicines, leading to one of the world's greatest human health crises, antibiotic resistance. With this problem at hand, microbiologists have had to adjust to new methods of overcoming this issue, making the research of natural antimicrobial agents crucial. This brought me to developing the question, if we can fight bacteria using our natural resources, why wouldn't we take advantage of the opportunity? Therefore, in my project, I tested 4 different natural products on Bacillus subtilis as my gram-positive bacteria and Escherichia coli as my gram-negative bacteria. The 4 products that I chose to test were tea tree oil, propolis extract, turmeric powder, and Yunnan bio powder. Originating from Australia, tea tree oil has been proven to have many beneficial antimicrobial properties and immediate effectiveness when treating things like acne, dandruff, and even lice. Propolis extract has powerful antioxidants and antimicrobial properties, which allow it to protect beehives from viruses and bacteria in the wild. Turmeric powder is a spice native to Asia, where it is popularly used to treat many health problems such as skin and digestive issues. It has powerful anti-inflammatory effects as well. Lastly, I chose to use a product called Yunnan Bio. Yunnan Bio is an herbal medicine which originated in China. It is mainly used in hemostatic treatment and is very popular in Eastern medicine. However, it is not well known in the Western Hemisphere. I first heard about Yunnan Bio when I was interning at my local vet clinic. The veterinarian told me that it was like a miracle medicine because it was very effective in immediately stopping otherwise fatal blood loss. But yet, no one knows how it exactly works, and many ingredients in the substance are secretive. Using sterilized techniques, I prepared petri dishes with nutrient agar and smeared bacterial colonies onto the plates using a cotton swab. I then applied propolis in disc and droplet form, and tea tree oil, also both in disc and droplet form. After that, I applied turmeric powder and Yunnan Bio powder as well. All the petri dishes were then placed into an incubator, set to 37 degrees Celsius, and set for a total of 96 hours. I analyzed the dishes after every 24-hour period in order to examine each zone of inhibition to conclude whether the bacteria was resistant or susceptible to each product. Effective antimicrobials will produce a ring of no bacterial growth, while no zone of inhibition indicates bacterial resistance. After 24 hours, there were clear zones of inhibition on Bacillus subtilis for propolis, both disc and droplet form, tea tree oil, also both disc and droplet form, and turmeric powder. This shows that these products have antimicrobial effects and the bacteria was susceptible to them. However, the Yannin Bio powder did not exhibit any antibacterial properties, as the bacteria showed clear resistance with more bacterial growth surrounding the powder. Even after 96 hours of incubation, the results stayed the same with very minimal additional bacterial growth. These results show that propolis, tea tree oil, and turmeric are all effective antibacterials when tested against a gram-positive bacteria like Bacillus subtilis. After 24 hours, Escherichia coli did not grow enough for me to be able to show any results. However, after 46, 72, and 96 hours, E. coli was only susceptible to tea tree oil. The bacteria showed resistance to propolis extract and turmeric powder. However, for Yannin Bio, I would like to continue my testing in order to be able to be 100% confident that the bacteria was resistant. These results indicate that tea tree oil has a broad spectrum antimicrobial effect. Propolis and turmeric are effective against a gram-positive bacteria, and Yannin Bio does not show any signs of antibacterial effectiveness. Given the evident antimicrobial benefits that natural substances can provide, why wouldn't we take advantage of this opportunity? As Hippocrates said himself, "Let your food be your medicine, and your medicine be your food." This statement being so true in terms of overuse of synthetic antibiotics when there are many natural antibiotics provided by nature.
Greenwire Technology Solutions, a certificate and cash awards are presented to Jack Calder, Estero High School, $50. Jay Chavakula, Canterbury School, $100. And Maya Chandar, Canterbury School, $100. Congratulations to these students, and thank you, Greenwire Technology Solutions. This year's Mu Alpha Theta certificate presented to the Senior Division project of Maya Chandar, Canterbury School. Congratulations, Maya, and thank you, Mu Alpha Theta. The Naples Botanical Garden Excellence in Plant Sciences 4 general admission passes are presented to, from the Junior Division, Hannah Johnson, Trafalgar Middle School, Michaela Mitchell, Trafalgar Middle School, and a Senior Division project from Maggie Taylor, East Lee County High School. Congratulations to these 3 students, and thank you, Naples Botanical Garden, for your long-standing contribution. This year's NASA Earth System Science Award, a certificate presented to the Junior Division project, Eliana Trunkett, St. Andrew Catholic School. Congratulations, Eliana, and thank you, NASA. This year's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Taking the Pulse of the Planet Award, a letter and certificate is presented to Christopher Pino, St. Andrew Catholic School. Congratulations, Christopher, and thank you, Noah. Another one of our fairly new sponsors is Neogenomics, and this year's Neogenomics Excellence in Cellular, Molecular Biology, and Biochemistry Award, a plaque and $250 award is presented to Emily D'Angelo, Canterbury School. Congratulations, Emily, on your research excellence, and thank you, Neogenomics Laboratories. Passarella and Associates presents the Ecologist Award, a $100 award presented to Morgan Barnes, Canterbury School. Congratulations, Morgan, and thank you, Passarella and Associates. Pure Florida Award for Research Excellence, a $200 gift card for a future Pure Florida experience, is presented to the following projects: Emily Grant, Maria Urakawa, Sevi Cullum, Mac Gravely, Christopher Mancia, Riley Goff, Tyler Gerlich, Curricula Soraya Fernando, Daisy Mejia, and Cole Erickson. Congratulations to all these students, and thank you to Pure Florida for your $2,000 donation to our special awards program. This year's RICO Corporation Award for Sustainable Development, a certificate presented to the Senior Division Project from Michaela Fisher, Canterbury School. Congratulations, Michaela, and thank you to RICO. The Society for In Vitro Biology, a certificate is presented to Michaela Fisher, Canterbury School. Congratulations, Michaela, and thank you to the Society for In Vitro Biology. This year's Sunsplash Family Water Park, Excellence in Aquatic Sciences. The award of 2 admission passes is presented to Mac Gravely, St. Michael Lutheran School. Congratulations, Mac, and thank you to Sunsplash Family Water Park. This year's U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, a certificate and social media toolkit is presented to Curricula Soraya Fernando, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School. Congratulations and thank you, USAID. Our U.S. Metric Association Award for Best Use of the International System of Units, a certificate is presented to Maya Chandar, Canterbury School. Congratulations and thank you, U.S. Metric Association. Throughout the awards program, we have been spotlighting some of our student researchers with highlight videos from this year's fair. Let's take a look at our next project.
Hello, my name is Morgan Barnes, and I'll be discussing my study, analyzing in situ environmental impacts on long-term durability, coexistence, and viability, sodium alginate immobilized claravulgaris biomation units, a novel third-year study. Before I begin discussing my experimentation, I'd like to provide you with some background information. Florida's waters have recently been plagued by harmful algal blooms, and the Coxsackie blue-green alginose cyanobacteria has come concerned with this quick proliferation and its association with the cyanotoxins. Although a variety of factors may act as contributors to increase both frequency and duration of these events, nutrient loading is often cited as a major contributor. The ability to immobilize hyperchemic algae to remediate excess nutrients in open water systems to natural levels explored. Purification of sodium algae results in a water-permeable bead that can be biologically activated for a variety of purposes. The purpose of this project is to help restore Florida's waters to a natural nutrient level. Research using immobilized microbes suggests that they're both effective removing nutrients and easy to manage. A concern is the immobilized medium may break down in vitro and in situ environmental conditions. My problem is due environmental variables impact the long-term coexistence and bioremediation viability of claravulgaris activated sodium alginate biobeads. Methodology. Sodium alginate was selected as a medium because purification results in a water-permeable bead that can be biologically activated to mediate both phosphate and nitrate. The surface area to volume ratio was selected due to an experimentation I conducted. I found out the larger surface area to volume ratio, the more the immobilized medium would break down over time. But if the surface area to volume ratio was too small, the immobilized medium wouldn't uptake an effective amount of nutrients. Therefore, I ended up using the surface area to volume ratio in this picture. In my novel second-year study, the immobilized medium's viability was tested in an in vitro environment. A nutrient solution of 0.45 parts per million nitrate and 0.64 parts per million orthophosphate was made. The immobilized mediums were placed in the control group, agitation, aeration, and an elevated temperature group. In each of the groups, there was a positive control of just the immobilized medium, an independent variable of the immobilized medium with the immobilized claravulgaris, and a negative control of blast beads because they couldn't remediate any nutrients. Results were collected after 1 week immersion, and the results were compared. Results. As you can see, the independent variable remediated the most nutrients out of any of the groups. It was statistically significant compared to the negative control, which didn't remediate any of the nutrients. The positive control did not remediate an effective amount of nutrients because it didn't have a desire to uptake nutrients. There was no statistically significant difference between the positive control and the negative control group. Also, a t-test ran between the independent variable and the positive control group generated p-value of 0, indicating that I'm 100% confident that the results were due to my experimentation and not to a other outside variable or due to random chance. As you can see, the chlorella vulgaris independent variable remediated 89% of the nutrients in a control group, bringing eutrophic nutrient systems to natural levels for an undeveloped natural system. There was no decrease in experimental groups, indicating that the in vitro environmental conditions did not impact the viability of the mobilized chlorella vulgaris bioremediation units. In situ environments. My hypothesis is in situ environmental conditions will impact chlorella vulgaris activated sodium alginate biobeads by decreasing their penetrometer score, indicating reduced coexistence between cross-polymer linkages and reduced biomedical capabilities over time. My null hypothesis is environmental impact will not decrease the effectivity of immobilized biomedical organisms. My independent variable is sodium alginate immobilized chlorella vulgaris bioremediation units in in situ environments. My dependent variable is coefficient and the amount of nutrients removed in the viability test. Experimentation. I distributed 24 mesh bags into various locations of the lake. In each mesh bag, there were 50 immobilized mediums. Each week, 50 beads were extracted for a viability test that were placed into the same nutrient solution that I used in my novel second-year study. The two nutrients that were selected in that nutrient solution are the most readily available type of nutrients found in Florida's ecosystem. The other 16 beads were extracted and they were used to determine if the immobilized mediums would break down and their durability and coefficientness wouldn't be affected throughout the experimentations. As you can see, the viability measured by the rate of nutrient depletion after 1 week immersion compared, there was no statistically significant difference between the weeks, indicating that the in situ environmental conditions did not have any impact on the viability of the immobilized chlorella vulgaris activated sodium alginate bioremediation units. You can also see a very similar thing with the durability and the coefficient of the sodium alginate bioremediation units. As you see, throughout the weeks, there was not a decrease in the durability of the immobilized medium, indicating that the in situ environmental conditions did not impact the durability and coefficient of the structure. In week 3, the immobilized mediums were hit by Tropical Storm Eta. There was no statistically significant difference between the weeks, indicating that even harsh environmental conditions did not impact the durability of the mobilized mediums. As you can see in these ANOVA analyses, the p-values are higher than the alpha value of 0.05 accepted by the scientific community. Therefore, the null hypothesis was failed to be rejected. The null hypothesis is that environmental conditions will not impact the rate of viability, coefficient, and durability, indicating that that was accepted. Therefore, it shows that the mobilized mediums are ready for future research and applications since the in situ environmental conditions did not decrease the effectivity of the mobilized medium. As you can see, there's no statistically significant difference between the in vitro environments and the in situ environmental conditions, once again indicating that the in vitro environmental conditions and the in situ environmental conditions did not impact the viability, coefficient, and durability of the mobilized medium. Future research and application. I would need $500,000 to do this project on a large scale. This is just a quarter of what Collier County spent in 2018 to remediate harmful algal blooms. I would need $500,000 to put a sufficient amount of mobilized mediums in the outflow centers of the Coxsackie River, and I would do this for 1 year. Once the immobilized mediums are swapped out, they can be turned into another method of remediation called biochar. The immobilized mediums are biodegradable, so if for some reason the immobilized medium breaks down, they will have no negative impact on the surrounding ecosystem, marine life, and the population, since they're edible. Finally, this eliminates a lot of the externalities we see with the cyanobacteria, and it will end up helping out restore Florida's waters to a natural neutral level. Thank you. I'm looking forward to answering any questions you might have.
This year's United States Air Force award of a certificate and prize is presented to J. Chavakula, Canterbury School. Congratulations and thank you, U.S. Air Force. Our United States Navy Marine Corps Junior Division prize of a letter and prize is presented to the following projects: Samantha Mitchell, St. Francis Xavier School; Kayla Thrasher, Bonita Springs Middle, Center for the Arts; Sarah Engel, St. Andrew Catholic School; and Haley Shorts, Charlotte Preparatory School. Congratulations to these 4 students, and thank you to the United States Navy and Marine Corps. Moving now to the Senior Division, our United States Navy Marine Corps Senior Division Special Award, a letter and prize is presented to Madison Ratliff, Port Charlotte High School, and J. Chavakula, Canterbury School. Congratulations to these 2 students, and thank you, United States Navy and Marine Corps. Our Stockholm Junior Water Prize certificates are presented to the following projects: Daisy Mejia, East Lee County High School; Kaylin Satina, Lehigh Senior High School; and Christopher Mencia, Bonita Springs High School. Congratulations to these students, and thank you, Stockholm Water Prize. This year's Yale Science and Engineering Association, a certificate and letter is going to be presented to Kiki Zhang, Bonita Springs High School. Congratulations and thank you to the Yale Science and Engineering Association. A new award this year comes to us from a long-standing partner who usually is out and about helping us judge those school science fairs and the regional science fair. The Scientist Society of Southwest Florida Award for Excellence in Junior Sciences, a $50 award, is presented to the following projects: Sophia Mayes, Ariana Thomas, Miles Hammond, Max Cronin, Courtney Hahn, and Olivia Lee. Congratulations to all of these students, and thank you to the Scientist Society of Southwest Florida. Moving now to the senior division, the Scientist Society of Southwest Florida Award for Excellence in Senior Sciences, a $100 award, is presented to Dhruv and Jay Chavakula. Congratulations to these students, and again, thank you to the Scientist Society of Southwest Florida for your support, dedication, and mentorship throughout our fairs. This year's Florida Southwestern State College 2-year academic scholarship worth $2,000 is presented to the following student. Congratulations to Daisy Mejia, East Lee County High School, on winning this prestigious award. And thank you to Florida Southwestern State College for providing students access to post-secondary education. This year's Southwest Florida Community Foundation James D. and Eleanor F. Newton Scholar, a $4,000 total scholarship that is $1,000 per year, renewable for up to 4 years, is presented to the following junior division project. Congratulations to Mason Huffman, Trafalgar Middle School, on winning this prestigious scholarship. And thank you to the Southwest Florida Community Foundation for all of your support. Again, you can share all of your special awards success on social media with the hashtag Edison Fairs. Or if you like, give us a follow. It's time once again to spotlight another one of our projects in an Edison Spotlight. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Nashini Fernando, and my study examines microplastic interaction in aquatic primary consumers, the potential for biomagnification. Microplastics are pieces of plastic less than 5 millimeters in length. Based on an independent science research project I conducted last year, I concluded that microplastics affect the rate of sea ice melting by causing it to melt faster at a statistically significant rate. So then I thought, if microplastics can affect the physical environment, would it be able to affect the biosphere? I found that only 4% of microplastic-related studies have to do with fresh water. The rest have to do with seawater. I also read Rachel Carson's famous book, Silent Spring. DDT, the pesticide, mainly affected the higher level consumers, not the lower level consumers. This was very intriguing to me, so I did some more research and came upon the idea of biomagnification, the increase of concentrations of a pollutant in a food chain. My study examines whether microplastics biomagnify across freshwater invertebrates and will help add to the increased awareness that microplastics are of a rising concern. These are the two main types of Daphnia, Daphnia magna and Daphnia pulex. I chose to use Daphnia magna in my study as they are larger and very transparent. This is a Daphnia magna diagram. This is their heart, these are their embryos, and this is their gut. Before conducting my experiment, I read some articles. The Daphnia magna seemingly avoided eating the microplastics, and the microplastics had little effect on the Daphnia magna adults. In another study, no biomagnification from Daphnia magna to zebrafish was found. Due to these different studies, future research is necessary on this topic before making a conclusion. I used 3 different types of microplastics in each of my experimental designs. As you can see, I placed each on a 2 millimeter by 2 millimeter square, and the size decreased as the stages went on. My null hypothesis A is that there is no significant impact of microplastics on Daphnia magna mortality and heart rate, and my null hypothesis B is that there will be no consumption of microplastics in Daphnia magna. I chose to use my null hypothesis B and alternate hypothesis B in stage 3 only, because in stages 1 and 2, after over 400 observations, I noticed that the Daphnia magna were not eating the glitter and eyeshadow glitter. So I did some research and found that it was actually too big for the Daphnia to consume. This is how I calculated the heartbeat of the Daphnia magna. I would count the beat for 15 seconds and then multiply it by 4 to calculate the beats per minute, or BPM. This is my Daphnia magna setup from which I took the Daphnia in order to make my samples. These images show Daphnia magna interaction with glitter, eyeshadow glitter, and polyester fibers. I collected over 998 observations across all 3 stages in different time intervals, such as 24 hours and 48 hours, and made box and whisker diagrams and conducted 2 tail t-tests in 3 experimental designs for stages 1, 2, and 3. There was no significant difference in the heart rates of the control and microplastic samples. In stage 3, I was also able to look at the consumption of polyester fibers. After 24 hours, 70% of the Daphnia had consumed microplastics. And after 48 hours, 79% of the Daphnia had consumed microplastics. I believe that the reason for the increase is due to the longer exposure. There was a significant number of Daphnia exposed to microplastics that ate microplastics compared to those that did not. Some challenges and limitations I face in my experiment are that the Daphnia magna colonies often crash due to disease. As you can see, they began to have a blue pigmentation on their bodies, which made it very difficult to see their gut, so I had to discard the entire colony. There might also be handling stress due to transit and putting the Daphnia on the microscope. However, this would not affect the results of my experiment as the control and microplastic samples were treated the same way. I would also like to have access to laboratories with controlled humidity and temperature, as humidity can cause oxygen to dissolve in water, which would influence the metabolism rate of the Daphnia magna, which would in turn influence their performance. My conclusion is that the presence of microplastics does not have a significant impact on Daphnia magna heart rates in glitter, eyeshadow glitter, and polyester fibers. And, as depicted in the picture, Daphnia magna do in fact consume the 100% polyester fibers. I also hypothesized that it may be possible for microplastics to biomagnify from Daphnia magna, a primary consumer, to secondary level consumers. I started to develop a filter to remove microplastics from fresh water before consumption. This is very important because microplastics can carry harmful pathogens or chemicals, which would be consumed by humans. Microplastics have already been found in human feces and recently in the placentas of unborn babies. My solution is made of cotton matting, sand, activated carbon, and coir matting. This is a prototype of my solution. In future studies, I would like to look at the impact of different pH values on microplastic deterioration. This is very important because different water bodies across the United States and across the world may have different pH values. For example, one place might be more acidic, whereas another might be more alkaline. I would also like to study if microplastics biomagnify from Daphnia to secondary level consumers, such as salamanders, newts, aquatic insects, and hydra. I would also like to explore more biodegradable materials that are easy to find to create an inexpensive filter to remove microplastics from waterways before they reach oceans, lakes, and rivers. And I would also like to establish how to dispose of microplastics after the filtration process and promote research in developing biodegradable plastic or synthetic material to minimize the pollution caused by afterlife waste and help support the circularity of the natural ecosystem. Thanks for watching.
Moving now to our 2021 category awards, students competed in both the junior and senior divisions of Science Fair, entering projects in one of 13 categories. An overview of our 2021 category awards: students will be receiving honorable mention medals, third place category awards, which include trophies, second place category awards, which are also in the form of trophies, and first place awards, which also are trophies. We'd like to first start off by recognize all of the students that participated in the animal sciences as finalists in our Regional Science and Engineering Fair. And now to our second place Animal Sciences Awards, beginning first with Junior Division, Christopher Pino, St. Andrew Catholic School. And from the Senior Division, Ryan Charlo, Canterbury School. Congratulations, students, on your second place Animal Sciences Awards. And now for first place Animal Sciences in the Junior Division, Sophia Mayes, St. Andrew Catholic School. And from the Senior Division, Amy Meng, Fort Myers High School. Congratulations, students, on your first place Animal Sciences Awards. Moving now to Behavioral and Social Sciences, we'd like to take a moment to recognize all of the finalists in the Junior and Senior Division of this category. Beginning with honorable mentions in Behavioral and Social Sciences, Junior Division, Laith Abuquab, Canterbury School. Jaya Parsa, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School. And in the Senior Division, Evelise Martinez, Riverdale High School. And Robert De La Salle, Estero High School. Congratulations to these students on your honorable mention awards. Moving now to third place, Junior Division Place Awards are presented to Alif Chowdhury, Canterbury School, and Noah Rodriguez, St. Andrew Catholic School. Congratulations, students, on your third place category awards. Second place Behavioral and Social Sciences Awards are presented to, in the Junior Division, Anika Koka, Canterbury School, Natasha Agarwal, Canterbury School, and in the Senior Division, Maya Alion, Canterbury School. Congratulations to these students on your second place category awards. And first place awards in Behavioral and Social Sciences are presented to, in the Junior Division, Mehreen Chowdhury, Canterbury School, and in the Senior Division, Morgan Rossellini, Canterbury School. Congratulations to these students on a job well done and your first place category awards. Shifting now to Biomedical and Health Sciences, we'd like to take a moment to recognize all the students that entered the fair as finalists in this category. First, beginning with honorable mentions in Biomedical and Health Sciences, we present awards to Jaden Montalament, Charlotte Preparatory School, and also from the Junior Division, Jacob Mast, St. Michael Lutheran School. Third place category awards are presented to, in the Junior Division, Benjamin King, Cresswell School, and in the Senior Division, Elliot Courtney, Charlotte High School. Congratulations to these students on your category place awards. Moving now to second place category awards, in the Junior Division, second place is presented to Andrea Gibbs, Murdoch Middle School. And Senior Division, Madison White, Estero High School. Congratulations to these two students on their second place category awards. And now for first place Biomedical and Health Sciences, awards are presented to the following projects. Junior Division, Mason Huffman, Trafalgar Middle School. Also in the Junior Division, Jackson Moaning, Charlotte Preparatory School. And now to the Senior Division, Dhruv, Fort Myers High School. And first place presented to Michelle Barnes, Canterbury School. Congratulations to these students on their first place Biomedical and Health Sciences awards. We move now to Cellular Molecular Biology and Biochemistry, and would like to take a moment to recognize the 5 students that entered our fair as finalists in this category. Beginning with third place category awards are presented to the Senior Division teams of Elle Isel and Marin Fancher, Canterbury School, and the team of Kenzie Gerard and Chloe Vong, Riverdale High School. Congratulations to these 2 team projects on your third place category awards. And first place, Cellular Molecular Biology and Biochemistry, is presented to Emily D'Angelo of the Canterbury School. Congratulations on your first place success. Let's pause for a moment to spotlight another project in an Edison Spotlight.
Hi, my name is Bryce Kronfeld, and I studied the speed of photosynthesis in relation to surface area of 3 different freshwater plants. As you can see here are 3 different freshwater species. The far left is Cryptocoryne wendii, also known as water trumpet. The middle is Agagropilolinei, also known as freshwater mossballs. And the far right is Dracana sanderiana, also known as freshwater bamboo. My background research consisted of where, when, and how photosynthesis takes place, along with the specific cell organelles responsible for the intake and output of photosynthetic ingredients and byproducts. My hypothesis was that Cryptocoryne wendii would undergo photosynthesis the fastest when exposed to a carbonized environment due to the fact that it is the greatest surface area out of any of these 3 plants. My experimentation process consisted of inserting 20 milliliters of a pH indicator, in this case it was bromothymol blue, into each of the tanks. Each of the tanks holds 4 plants and 1 gallon of water per experiment. The pH indicator was inserted using a syringe through airtight inverted graduated cylinders. This was also how the carbon dioxide was inserted. The base pH of the tanks was around 7.1 to 7.3. The carbonized pH was around 6.1 to 6.3. And I measured the amount of time it took for the tanks to return from the carbonized pH to the base pH. I did this by placing the plants in a completely sunlit area with no obstructions, right there, spread out so that none of the tanks would interfere with each other. I converted this time into seconds, and before the experiment began, I had calculated the surface areas, which were as follows. Cryptocoryne wendii has a surface area of around 491.79 centimeters cubed, making it the largest in terms of surface area. Agagropilolinei has a surface area of 337.37 centimeters cubed, making it the second largest. And Dracana sanderiana had a surface area of 313.26 centimeters cubed, making it the smallest in terms of surface area. I then divided the amount of seconds it took by the surface area of each plant, giving me seconds per centimeter cubed of the amount of plants. What was found was that plants with a higher surface area undergo photosynthesis faster than plants with a lower surface area, proving my hypothesis to be valid. Cryptocoryne wendii underwent photosynthesis the fastest, Agagropilolinei underwent it the second fastest, and Dracana sanderiana underwent it the slowest. This is due to the fact that more of the plant's chlorophylls, which are the light-storing parts of the chloroplasts, which are the organelles responsible for photosynthesis in plants, are exposed to direct sunlight at any given time during the experiment. Other factors include the fact that they can take in greater amounts of carbon dioxide and water because of the increased amount of stomata that are on the surface of the plant due to the greater surface area. This experiment matters and is important because it can be a step towards solving the global climate crisis by finding and identifying which types of plants take in the most amount of carbon dioxide the fastest and most efficiently.
Moving now to one of our largest categories this year, chemistry. And we'd like to take a moment to recognize all of the junior and senior division projects that entered this category. Our chemistry awards start with honorable mention in both the junior and senior division, beginning with Max Cronin, Charlotte Preparatory School, Jared Bagan, Charlotte Preparatory School, and Kendall Archambault, Trafalgar Middle School. Moving now to the senior division, Kiki Zhang, Bonita Springs High School. Congratulations, students, on your honorable mention awards. Third and second place awards in chemistry are presented to the junior division project from Sean Cunningham, Murdoch Middle School. Also junior division, Jordan Joseph, Trafalgar Middle School. Second place awards are presented to Sophia Smith, St. Andrew Catholic School, and Olivia Sills, Estero High School. Congratulations to these students on your place awards. And this year's first place chemistry awards are presented to, from the junior division, Charlie Della Luna, Oak Hammock Middle School, Kaylee Della Luna, Oak Hammock Middle School, and in the senior division, Gage Grismer, Bonita Springs High School. Congratulations to these students on your first place chemistry awards. Another one of our large categories is Earth and Environmental Sciences. We'd first like to take a moment to recognize all of the junior division finalists in this category. And also in the Earth and Environmental Sciences, all of these senior division finalists. Beginning with honorable mentions, Earth and Environmental Sciences Awards are presented to Alejandro Figueroa, St. Michael Lutheran School, Sonishka Mehta, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School, and James Defer, L.A. Ainger Middle School. Congratulations to these students on your honorable mention awards. Third place Earth and Environmental Sciences Awards are presented to Ariana Thomas, Three Oaks Middle School, Jingyi Hang, Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts, and Maria Strenko, Lehigh Acres Middle School. Congratulations to these students on their third place category awards. Moving now to the senior division, third place Earth and Environmental Sciences Awards are presented to Genevieve Bailey, Cape Coral High School, and the team project of Lillian Keller and Jax Mendelson, Lemon Bay High School. Congratulations to these students on your third place category awards. Sticking with Earth and Environmental Sciences, second place awards are presented to Samantha Mitchell, St. Francis Xavier School, Jessica Marchese, Canterbury School, Elsie Cribbs, Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts, and Zachary Engel, St. Andrew Catholic School. Congratulations to these students on their junior division second place category awards. Moving now to the senior division, Earth and Environmental Sciences Awards are presented to Kaylin Statina, Lehigh Senior High School, and Cole Erickson, Riverdale High School. Congratulations to these two students on their second place category awards. And for our first place Earth and Environmental Sciences Awards, first place junior division is presented to the following projects: Maria Urakawa, Three Oaks Middle School, and Kurukula Soraya Fernando, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School. And from our senior division, first place category award presented to Morgan Barnes, Canterbury School. Congratulations to these three students on a job well done. Moving now to our engineering and material sciences, we'd like to take a moment to recognize these students in the junior and senior division that entered our fair as regional fair finalists. Our engineering awards begin with honorable mentions. First, presented to Abigail Kohler, Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts, and Jacob Silver, Cypress Lake High School. Second place category award is presented to Logan Schur, Charlotte Preparatory School. And first place category awards in engineering are presented to, in the junior division, Jaya Naik, Three Oaks Middle School, and in the senior division, Jay Chavakula, Canterbury School. Congratulations to these two students on a job well done in the category of engineering. Shifting now to environmental engineering, we'd like to take a moment to recognize our finalists that entered the fair in this category. And we begin with third place category awards in environmental engineering, presented to junior division Kayla Thrasher, Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts, Jenna Bennett, Cypress Lake Middle School, and in the senior division, Ethan Wilson, Estero High School. Second place category award is presented to Sephora Esperance, St. Andrew Catholic School. Congratulations to these students on their category place awards. And now for our first place environmental engineering awards in the junior division. An award is presented to Sarah Engel, St. Andrew Catholic School. And in our senior division, Michaela Fisher, Canterbury School, and Heidi Kinsey, Fort Myers High School. Congratulations to these students on your first place category awards. Again, students, just a reminder, you can share all of your category awards and your success on social media using the hashtag #AddisonFairs. Or if you like, give us a follow. Tell us to your friends, family, and colleagues. Throughout the awards program, we have been spotlighting some of our projects from this year's fair. Let's take a look at our next Edison Fairs Spotlight.
Hi, my name is Heidi Kinsey. Many people know about the plastic problem in our oceans and the plastic that floats on top of the oceans, but that's just the tip of the iceberg to a much larger problem, which is microplastics. The rapid accumulation of plastic on Earth over the past 60 years is an ever-growing problem in our air and in our ocean. 50 years ago, plastic was seen as a great alternative to the depletion of natural resources. However, we now have a better understanding of the enormous problems caused by plastic's bioaccumulation. This bioaccumulation is not only caused by plastic that can be seen, but also microplastics that are accruing at an alarming rate. Synthetic textiles contribute up to 85% of the plastic in Earth's waters. Plastic pollution, specifically microplastics, led me to consider how we contribute to this problem in our everyday lives. Last year, I began my research on synthetic clothing and how domestic laundering contributes to microplastic emissions in wastewater. Materials like polyester and nylon can be seen in everyday garments, but they're made of plastic and I figure that they can emit microplastics from previous research. I conducted an experiment and learned about the emissions of microplastics from the washer, but I experienced challenges with the dryer. I had placed a 10-micron screen in the lint catcher, and after 2 loads, the safety switch on the dryer shut off, preventing overheating. The project was presented using only washer data. I began reviewing research on microfibers and domestic dryers. I discovered a study in the news that was currently in progress and was being conducted by the Desert Research Institute. It was a study of microplastics in Lake Tahoe. They were recruiting citizens to help them collect data. I was able to talk with Dr. Monica Arenzo, the lead researcher, about the project. She sent me a demonstration of the lint catcher that they had used for the project in Lake Tahoe. And she explained that she had used a conservative approach in her study because she was relying on citizen volunteers to help collect the data. Her input helped guide me in thinking how I was going to collect the fiber safely from the dryer with proper ventilation, but I knew I still needed to collect more precise data as I did with my laundry project. I spoke with my mentor, Dr. Serge Thomas, a professor at Florida Gulf Coast University, about the possibilities of a continuation project. I needed to account for the microplastic fibers that would be emitted from the dryer, because I had had previous challenges with my first. I placed the dryer vent into a bucket with water at the base. After each load, I ran water through the 4 sieves before I had to decontaminate my dryer from microfibers that had already been emitted in the dryer. I cleaned it with DI water and a vacuum. I was able to collect 4 different samples from each of the 4 loads, and I rinsed each sieve with DI water, and the fibers were transferred into a sterile sample container. I used the same numbers I did last year. I did 4 loads, 3.35 kilograms, all synthetic textiles. After I delivered the samples, Dr. Thomas helped me by using hydrogen peroxide to break down any natural material for the samples, and then I weighed each of the samples and documented each slide in each slide grid in order to manually count the number of fibers on each square of the filter that I had used to collect the fibers. This tedious process provided detailed data for each of the different size sieves. The data were analyzed by weight and by number per filter. The data were compared to the washer data from last year, and the two sets of data were combined to represent 4 complete wash and dry cycles. My hypothesis was supported by the data. The number of microplastics by filter size clearly showed that more fibers were collected on the 10 micron sieve as compared to the other sieves just within the dryer samples. I predicted that more smaller microfibers would be emitted in the dryer because the clothes will continue to be distressed and fibers will continue to break up. A comparison of the washer and dryer samples demonstrates a greater number of microfibers were collected using the 10 micron sieve from the dryer compared to the washer. All loads supported my hypothesis. I did not collect data on how many times the clothes in this research had been washed previously, but I knew all the clothing was not new and had been washed prior to this experiment. I thought this was okay for my project because I'm looking at the microplastic emissions from a normal family, and families don't wash new clothes every time they do a load. I combined the washer and dryer data to reflect the total wash and dryer cycle. The average number of microplastics that were emitted is 14,860. A typical household wash includes between 40% and 60% of clothes made of synthetic material. This means that anywhere from approximately 6,000 to 9,000 microfibers are emitted into wastewater or air for every domestic wash and dry cycle. If 80% of U.S. household average 439 washes per year, according to Kapp and Miller, then each of these households potentially emit an average of 3,292,500 microplastic fibers per year. This is important because microfibers are not completely removed from the water during the sewage process, and microplastics from laundry go straight into the waterways. This research adds information about the impact of domestic laundering for both washer and dryer on the accumulation of microplastics in Earth's waterways. It highlights how the mundane chores of everyday life impact the environment. Thank you.
Now to the category of intelligent machines, robotics, and systems software. We'd like to take a moment to recognize our 2 finalists in this category. And place awards are presented to the following 2 projects. Second place, Junior Division, Courtney Hahn, Cape Coral Charter School. And our first place category award for intelligent machines, robotics, and systems software is presented to Miles Hammond, Cape Coral Charter School. Congratulations to these 2 students on their category place awards. In mathematics and computational sciences, we'd like to take a moment to recognize the 2 finalists in this category. And first place category awards are presented to, in the junior division, Juliana Bendek, Three Oaks Middle School, and senior division, Maya Chandar, Canterbury School. Congratulations to these 2 students on their first place category awards. Moving into microbiology, we'd like to take a moment to recognize our finalists in the junior division. And also our finalists in microbiology in the senior division. Our microbiology category awards, starting with honorable mentions, are presented to, in the junior division, Gary Belcher, Lee Virtual School, and Sebastian Canizares, Three Oaks Middle School. Third place category awards in microbiology are presented to, in the junior division, Gabriel Cintron, St. Michael Lutheran School, and senior division, Natalie Gosshorn and Liam Hughes, Riverdale High School. Congratulations to these students on your category place awards. Moving now to second place microbiology awards. In the junior division, an award is presented to Aiden Schiffnauer, Cypress Lake Middle School, and senior division, John Cintron, Fort Myers High School. Congratulations to these 2 students on your place awards. And now for first place microbiology, awards presented to, in the junior division, Dhruva Sharma, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School, And in the senior division, Amaya Echeverry, Canterbury School, and Vanessa Kinley, Bonita Springs High School. Congratulations to these students on your first place microbiology awards. In physics and astronomy, we'd like to take a moment to recognize these finalists in both the junior and senior divisions. Our awards in physics and astronomy begin with honorable mentions, presented to in the junior division, Sabrina Kosmala, St. Andrew Catholic School, and Aaron Fountain, Cresswell School. Congratulations to these two students on your place awards. Third place category awards in physics and astronomy are presented to in the junior division, Nicole Jagarova, Three Oaks Middle School, and Anna Cerna, St. Andrew Catholic School. And in the senior division, Eric Courtney, Charlotte High School. Congratulations to these students on your third place category awards. Moving now to second place Physics and Astronomy Awards. In the junior division, awards are presented to Ryan Cohn-Whiter, Three Oaks Middle School, and Amaya Griffin, Trafalgar Middle School. And in the senior division, Cassie Adkins, Cypress Lake High School. Congratulations to these students on your second place category awards. And now for first place awards in physics and astronomy. In the junior division, Davis Wald, Trafalgar Middle School. And in the senior division, Jake Calder, Estero High School. Congratulations to these two students and their first place category awards. And rounding out our category awards is Plant Sciences. We'd like to take a moment to recognize all the finalists in both the junior and senior divisions. Our Plant Science category awards, starting with honorable mentions, are presented to in the junior division, Jaden Wenda, Mariner Middle School, and in the senior division, Estefany Franco, East Lee County High School. Third place category awards are presented to from the junior division, Jamison Cole, Trafalgar Middle School, and in the senior division, Naya Coppin Quesada, East Lee County High School. Congratulations to these students on their category place awards. Second place Plant Science Awards are presented to in the junior division, Angelina Doherty and Michaela Hart, L.A. Ainger Middle School, and Reagan McLeod, Murdoch Middle School. And now in the senior division, second place awards are presented to Josephine Forschner, Lehigh Senior High School, and Maggie Taylor, East Lee County High School. Congratulations to these students on their second place category awards. And in first place, Plant Sciences Awards are presented to, in the junior division, Michaela Mitchell, Trafalgar Middle School, and senior division, Bryce Kronfeld, Estero High School. Congratulations to these two students on their Plant Sciences First Place Awards. And once again, students, you earned a lot of category place awards this evening. If you'd like to share your STEM success and our Edison Fair story, you can do so on social media, and we encourage you to use the hashtag Edison Fairs. Here now is our next Edison Fair Spotlight.
Hello, my name is Michelle Barnes. This is my project, a novel approach to the comparative analysis of natural polymer-based biomimetic neural scaffolds using the tactic response of fungal mycelium to model cell response to repair and peripheral nerve gap injuries such as medulla spinalis paraplegics. Through focusing on the efficiency and sustainability for small lesions, two types of polymers are tested. These are fabrication scaffolds and limit fillers. The use of the tactic response of the fungal mycelium was used to see these scaffolds can redirect cell growth in eukaryotic cells, later stimulating they could bridge the gap of peripheral lesions on the medulla spinalis and trigger a cell response and tissue repair in these nerves. Each year, approximately 10,000 Americans sustain spinal cord injuries. This can be due to loss of segments or axons and loss of neurons. Spinal cord injuries oftentimes occur in motor vehicle accidents, and paralysis can occur hours, days, or weeks after spinal cord injuries. The purpose of this project is to find a reliable and sustainable response to treating trauma in the central nervous system. They're focusing on lumbar spinal cord injuries in the L1 through L5. Currently, there are no reliable and functional responses to treating trauma in the central nervous system and reducing the chances of paralysis. The hypothesis states that in the comparative analysis of natural polymers and their effectiveness in repairing peripheral nerve gaps on small lesions, the fabrication of neuroscaffolds will be the most functional biomimetic, followed by ligament fillers. Furthermore, all biomimetic neuroscaffolds will still be able to direct cell growth. The null hypothesis states that there will be no statistical significance between the experimental and the control group, and the neuroscaffolds were deemed to be unsuccessful in their ability of directing cell growth. The independent variables in this experiment are the fabrication scaffolds, which are seen on the right within the grid-like structure, and on the left, the ligament fillers. The dependent variable is the growth of the tactic response of fungal mycelium, and that is what it looks like below in soil, and then on the right in agar, which is the median I used for this experiment. The control group is the agar with the mycelium sheets. Here are my materials. The procedure started in a sterilized space and started with the making of 6 agar matrices. After the agar gel was set, a mold was placed into the gel and left for a 24-hour period. This grid-like structure was used to simulate different structures of cell tissue and nerves. After the gel was removed from the mold, the 2 control groups were fitted with their mycelium sheets, and the independent variables were modified to fit their fillers. For the fabrication scaffolds, 2 squares within the grid were crushed to increase their surface area and volume ratio. Then surgical mesh was folded and placed within the grids. Ligament fillers followed a similar process, with the same squares being used to further reduce bias. After the silicone tubing was placed within the gel, hydrophobic acid was injected and the mycelium sheets were placed on top. Next came data collection. I measured the length of the shortest mycelium reflux to the longest for every 2 days for all 6 groups for a total of 3 weeks. This is the results as followed. I ran an ANOVA's analysis to show the difference between both independent variables and the control group. This generated a very low p-value, far below the alpha value of 0.05, indicating that this is significant and was not due to random chance. A two-tailed t-test was then used to show the difference between both experimental groups, the filler group and the fabrication scaffolds. This also generated a p-value below the 0.05 alpha value, indicating that there was statistical significance between both groups and one was far more effective than the other. This is what a visualization of what this data looks like. As you can see, both the implants were far more effective than the control, and the filler was more effective than the mesh. This is significant, and I would love to explain to you why later on and how this could change medicine. In conclusion, the hypothesis was partially supported, with all neural scaffolds being able to direct cell growth. But the ligament fillers were far more effective than those of the fabrication scaffolds. The null hypothesis was rejected, with this data still supporting the hypothesis. In future research, the ligament fillers would be tested using stem cells in a larger scale study in animal models to further determine their effectiveness. Also, more trials would be run, but due to cost of materials and lack of resources, only a few will be able to be tested for this project. I would like to thank my mentor, Robert Langer, and Ms. Percival for her time. Thank you, judges. I would love to answer any questions you might have on my project.
Tradition of the Edison Cup. The Edison Cup recognizes the middle or high school in Lee County and Charlotte County that strives for STEM excellence. Previous winners include Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School, Trafalgar Middle School, Canterbury Middle School, and Canterbury Upper School. And now, for the moment that many of our schools are waiting for, we'd like to announce the recipient of our 2021 Edison Cup. The Edison Cup. Congratulations for being chosen as our secondary school from Southwest Florida that embodies Thomas Edison's scientific and innovative pursuits. This year's Edison Cup is presented to Canterbury Upper School. Congratulations all the students, faculty, staff, and your school community on a job well done. In addition to submitting project paperwork, project displays, we asked students to submit their videos this year. Let's take a look at our final Edison Fairs Spotlight.
Hello, My name is Dhruva Sharma and I'm an 8th grader. Wow, what a year 2020 has been. No matter what part of the world you lived in, your life was impacted and disrupted. Of course, I'm talking about the global pandemic that spared no corner of the world. So many lives lost and so many lives disturbed, and all this was caused by a microscopic virus that we can't even see with our naked eyes. Mask, lockdown, social distancing. We would never have thought about any of this, even in the wildest of our dreams, and suddenly it all became a reality and the lifeline to our health and safety. But not everyone was looking at it that way. There was so much mixed information going around about whether wearing masks was good or not, and I wanted to find out for myself, even if it was in a limited way, if wearing masks really did prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Not only that, effectiveness of various types of masks and if the way the mask was worn had any impact on the effectiveness. The information gained from this project can help determine which mask is best at preventing the spread of the virus, the proper positioning of the mask over the face for the best effectiveness, and the risks present even while wearing a mask. I wanted to determine a safe way to conduct this experiment without directly involving the COVID-19 disease itself. So, after some research, I found there were a couple ways to do this. One was to use lasers to create a sheet of light and record people as they spoke into the sheet of light. If and when particles from their mouth would enter past the sheet of light, the recording would capture it. I also came across agar. Agar is a gel-like substance that uses a medium to culture bacteria. And although viruses and bacteria aren't the same thing, I figured since they leave the human airways at the same places and travel microscopic droplets in the same way, I could extrapolate the data I collected with bacteria and use that to represent how the coronavirus may spread. Here's my reasoning for that. If bacteria are able to travel through the fibers of a mask, then it'll be very easy for viruses to do the same as well. Now, I was ready to proceed with my experiment. I decided to use agar plates for my experiment, and I soon realized that there were specific procedures and requirements to continue with my experiment since I was going to be dealing with microorganisms. So as a fallback plan, I decided to construct a laser light sheet as my fallback plan in case I wasn't able to get in contact with the scientist at a lab. Let me explain my first method of testing my experiment using agar plates. To perform this experiment safely, I decided to simulate two people talking to each other by having each participant hold an agar plate approximately 1.5 feet away from their face at a 60-degree angle. Each participant would talk into an agar plate for approximately 1 minute, and they would do this for no mask, 1-ply cloth mask, 3-ply cloth mask, a surgical mask, and a surgical mask worn incorrectly. Each participant would repeat the same procedure for each trial to maintain consistency and to get accurate results. Once I collected the samples, I would hand them over to a scientist from the University of Florida at the research center in Immokalee, and he would put them in an incubator, and the incubator would be set at a temperature of 37.1 degrees Celsius and for about 4 days. Once the bacteria were done culturing, I would collect the data and analyze it by averaging the amount of cultures in each agar plate. Now let me explain my second method of testing my experiment. With a laser light sheet. I first had to build the contraption, and to build it, I created a box 5 feet long by 2 feet wide, basically an L-shaped cardboard box, and I installed a laser and a cylindrical lens and a mirror to reflect the light at a 90-degree angle. Now I was ready to test with my laser light sheet. Each participant would speak into an opening in the light sheet right here. Each participant would speak into an opening in the light sheet about here, and they would be recorded from the back, and if and when particles from the mouth would enter past the light sheet, the recording would capture it. And I would analyze the data by seeing the particles that entered past the light sheet per test subject per mask. My hypothesis for this experiment was that if a person is wearing a mask, then the molecules leaving their mouth would be affected from traveling since there's a barrier between them and the other person. The effectiveness of various types of masks from least effective to most effective would be no mask, surgical mask worn incorrectly, a surgical mask, a 1-ply cloth mask, and a 3-ply cloth mask. The results acquired from this experiment proved a part of my hypothesis incorrect. They showed that wearing a surgical mask was actually better than wearing a cloth mask, and this is most likely due to the fact that surgical masks are 2 to 3 ply, meaning they have 2 to 3 layers, which in turn would be better at preventing molecules than a singular layer. The results acquired also showed that wearing a mask was definitely better than not wearing a mask, and it showed that wearing a mask incorrectly undermined the original effectiveness of the mask by over 300%. I want to thank Dr. Kanisari for allowing me to use his research lab to conduct my experiment, and I want to thank my science teacher for informing me of the procedures and requirements to work with microorganisms. In conclusion, I would like to say a real eye-opener for me was that even while wearing a cloth mask, a 3-ply cloth mask, and a surgical mask, the spread of the coronavirus was still not zero. So that's why, even while wearing a mask, you still must practice social distancing. And thank you. It is my hope that 2021 holds a better year for the history books.
We've moved now into the Grand Awards section of our program. Grand Awards are presented to the top junior and senior division projects that are also considered for advancement to state and international science fairs, as well as the Best of Fair category awards for our fair. First, we'd like to announce the nominated projects for Junior Division Grand Awards. These students have been promoted to Grand Award consideration based on their excellence and performance in this year's STEM fair. Mehreen Chowdhury, Mason Huffman, Jackson Moaning, Charlie Della Luna, Kaylee Della Luna, Maria Urakawa, Kurakula Soraya Fernando, Sarah Engel, Dhruva Sharma, Davis Wald, and Michaela Mitchell. Senior Division Grand Award nominees include Dhruv, Michelle Barnes, Morgan Barnes, Jay Chavakula, Heidi Kinsey, Maya Chandar, Vanessa Kinley, and Bryce Kronfeld. Junior Division State Science Fair finalists and Grand Award winners will receive a custom Thomas Edison medallion, an original 2021 Tersif poster designed by regional finalist Vanessa Kinley, a set of SONY wireless headphones, entry into the 66th Annual State Science and Engineering Fair of Florida, which is later this March, and an FGCU academic scholarship valued at $2,500. We begin our Junior State Science Fair finalists and Grand Award winners with, in the category of Behavioral Sciences, Mehreen Chowdhury, Grade 8, Canterbury School. In Biomedical Sciences, Mason Huffman, Grade 7, Trafalgar Middle School. Jackson Moaning, also Biomedical Sciences, Grade 6, Charlotte Preparatory School. And in Chemistry, Charlie Della Luna, Grade 6, Oak Hammock Middle School. Congratulations to these first 4 projects and your Grand Award status, and also for being selected as State Science Fair finalists. Moving on, in our Junior Division, Grand Award winners and State Science Fair finalists include, in Chemistry, Kaylee Della Luna, Grade 6, Oak Hammock Middle School. In Earth and Environmental Sciences, Maria Urakawa, Grade 8, Three Oaks Middle School. Also in Earth and Environmental Sciences, Kurakua Soraya Fernando, Grade 7, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School. And in Environmental Sciences, Sarah Engel, Grade 6, St. Andrew Catholic School. Congratulations to these 4 students on your Grand Awards and for being selected as State Science Fair finalists. And finally, rounding out our Junior Division Grand Award winners and State Science Fair finalists. In Microbiology, Dhruva Sharma, Grade 8, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School. In Physics and Astronomy, Davis Wald, Grade 6, Trafalgar Middle School. And in Plant Sciences Junior Division, Michaela Mitchell, Grade 6, Trafalgar Middle School. Congratulations to all these students and their selection as State Science Fair finalists. Moving now to Senior Division Grand Awards and Senior Division State Science Fair finalists. All Senior Division Grand Award winners will receive a custom Thomas Edison medallion, an original 2021 Tearsif poster designed by regional finalist Vanessa Kinley, winner of our art t-shirt design contest, a set of SONY Bluetooth speakers, entry into the 66th Annual State Science and Engineering Fair, Florida, and an FGCU academic scholarship valued at $2,500. And we begin our Senior Division Grand Award winners in the following category. Biomedical Sciences, Dhruv, Grade 10, Fort Myers High School. Also in Biomedical Sciences, Michelle Barnes, Grade 10, Canterbury School. In Earth and Environmental Sciences, Morgan Barnes, Grade 10, Canterbury School. In Engineering and Materials Science, Jay Chavakula, Grade 12, Canterbury School. In Environmental Engineering, Heidi Kinsey, Grade 11, Fort Myers High School. In Mathematics and Computational Sciences, Maya Chandar, Grade 11, Canterbury School. In Microbiology, Vanessa Kinley, Grade 10, Bonita Springs High School. And rounding out our Senior Division team in Plant Sciences, Bryce Kronfeld, Grade 10, Bonita Springs High School. Once again, we'd like to congratulate our 2021 State Science Fair team from the Thomas Alva Edison Kiwanis Regional Science and Engineering Fair. Congratulations, students, and go Thomas! Having just announced our State Science Fair finalists and Grand Award winners, we'd like to move now into the Junior Division Best of Fair Awards. These awards recognize the top Junior Division projects across all 13 categories. This year, we'll be presenting 3 awards for second runner-up, first runner-up, and Junior Division Best of Fair. Our Junior Division Best of Fair Awards, starting with second runner-up. The winning project receives a custom Edison Fairs trophy, as well as a SONY Extra Bass portable Bluetooth speaker. This year's second runner-up is presented to Curricula Soraya Fernando, Grade 7, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School, for the project Microplastic Interaction in Aquatic Primary Consumers, Potential for Biomagnification. Congratulations on your second runner-up Best of Fair Award. Our first runner-up Junior Division Best of Fair Award. This winning project receives a custom Edison Fairs trophy, as well as a SONY Extra Bass high-power audio system. Our award is presented to, from Microbiology, Dhruva Sharma, Grade 8, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School, for the project titled, Do Masks Really Help Prevent COVID-19? Congratulations on your first runner-up Best of Fair Award. And now, for our 2021 Junior Division Best of Fair Award. This winning project receives a custom Edison Fairs trophy, a SONY Alpha 6000 E-mount camera with APS-C sensor, and earlier this evening, this student received a $4,000 Newton Scholarship. Our Best of Fair Award for the 2021 Science Fair is from Biomedical Sciences, Mason Huffman, Grade 7, Trafalgar Middle School, for the project titled Assessing Mass Efficacy with Laser and Sound Transmission. Congratulations, Mason, on your Best of Fair Award and your STEM success this school year. Having just announced our Junior Division Best of Fair Awards, we move now into the 2021 Senior Division Best of Fair Awards. For these awards, we award projects in both biological and physical sciences. We begin first with second runner-up, Biological Sciences. This winning project receives custom Edison Fairs trophy, a SONY Extra Bass portable Bluetooth speaker, and entry into the 2021 Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair, which will be a virtual fair this year. Our second runner-up, Biological Sciences, award is presented to, in Plant Sciences, Bryce Kronfeld, Grade 10, Estero High School, for the project titled Speed of Photosynthesis in Relation to Surface Area. Congratulations, Bryce, on your second runner-up Best of Fair award. Moving now to second runner-up, Physical Sciences. This winning project receives a custom Edison Fairs trophy, a SONY Extra Bass portable Bluetooth speaker, and entry into the 2021 Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. Our second runner-up in Physical Sciences, Morgan Barnes, Grade 10, Canterbury School, for the project titled Analyzing In Situ Environmental Impacts on Long-Term Durability, Cohesivity, and Viability Sodium Alginate Immobilized Chlorella Vulgaris Bioremediation Units, a novel third-year study. Congratulations, Morgan, on your second runner-up Physical Sciences award. Our first runner-up, Biological Sciences. This winning project receives custom Edison Fairs trophy, a SONY Extra Bass high-power audio system, as well as entry into the 2021 Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. Our first runner-up, Biological Sciences, is presented to Michelle Barnes, Grade 10, Canterbury School, for the project titled A Novel Approach to the Comparative Analysis of Natural Polymer-Based Biomimetic Neural Scaffolds, using the taxic response of fungal mycelium to model cell response and repair in peripheral nerve gap injuries such as the medulla spinalis. Congratulations, Michelle, on your first runner-up Biological Sciences award. First runner-up in Physical Sciences. This winning project receives a custom Edison Fairs trophy, a SONY Extra Bass high-power audio system, as well as entry into the 2021 Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair later this May. And first runner-up Physical Sciences is presented to Jay Chavakula, Grade 12, Canterbury School, for the project titled The Utilization of Dimples to Reduce Wind Load on Parabolic Structures. Congratulations, Jay, on your first runner-up Physical Sciences award. And now, for our 2021 Senior Division Best of Fair in Biological Sciences award. This winning project receives a custom Edison Fairs trophy, a SONY Alpha 6000 E-mount camera with APS-C sensor, as well as entry into the 2021 Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. Our 2021 Best of Fair Biological Sciences is presented to, from Microbiology, Vanessa Kinley, Grade 10, Bonita Springs High School, for the project titled Testing the Antibacterial Effectiveness of Unin Bio, Propolis, Turmeric, and Tea Tree Oil on the growth of E. coli and Bacillus subtilis in comparison to antibiotics on an agar plate. Congratulations, Vanessa, on being selected Best of Fair Biological Sciences for our 2021 Science and Engineering Fair. And now, for our final award of the evening, our 2021 Senior Division Best of Fair Physical Sciences Award. This winning project receives a custom Edison Fairs trophy, a Sony Alpha 6000 E-mount camera with APS-C sensor, as well as entry into the 2021 Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair, which will be a virtual fair this May. Our 2021 Best of Fair Physical Sciences Award is presented to, in Earth and Environmental Sciences, Heidi Kinsey, grade 11, Fort Myers High School, for the project titled A Comparison of Domestic Dryer Contributions to Previous Domestic Washer Data of Microplastic Fiber Emissions in Wastewater Generated from Synthetic Textiles. Congratulations, Heidi, on your 2021 Best of Fair Physical Sciences Award. And just to recap all of our awards this evening, for our Best of Fair Senior Division, the students that will be representing the Thomas Alva Edison Kiwanis Regional Science and Engineering Fair at the 2021 Regeneron International Science Fair are Michelle Barnes, Morgan Barnes, Jay Chavakula, Vanessa Kinley, Heidi Kinsey, and Bryce Kronfeld. Congratulations to these 6 students on representing our fairs so well. We look forward to our travels to state and international fairs. And once again, go Thomas.
This is Billy Gunnels from Florida Gulf Coast University, and I want to say congratulations. You have done an incredible job with this year's science fair. Considering we're in the middle of a pandemic, it's all the more impressive. You've shown grit and intelligence as you have worked to do your projects despite all the challenges of COVID-19. You should be proud. I am proud of you.
Hi, this is Jeff Hutchinson, one of the Grand Awards judges for the Thomas Edison Science Fair. So I just want to give my congratulations to all of the winners. They had a great set of projects this year. I think you did all an amazing job, especially considering all the conditions, which makes it hard to do. So really proud of you all, and hope to see some of you again in the future if you're still around and able to compete in the science fair.
And as we conclude our 2021 Thomas Alva Edison Kiwanis Regional Science and Engineering Fair Awards Ceremony, we'd like to leave you with this thought. While it's been a trying year with the pandemic, and in recent memory, our fairs were struck with Hurricane Irma and other natural disasters, yet students still come to the fairs. Yet students still ask questions, yet students still wonder why the world around them works the way it does. I want to present to you Sarah R. Langberg. Sarah is an alum of our Regional Science and Engineering Fair. And back in 2004, Sarah won the top prize at the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair as the Intel Young Scientist. It wasn't that long ago that Sarah won this award, and certainly you can reach out to her on social media and ask what that experience was like. But I'm here to tell you that in recent years, our students have gone to state and international fairs, and we've received not just special awards, not just honorable mention and place awards, but some of our students have received first place awards. So Thomas Alva Edison, we're on the verge of something grand. We're on the verge of being the top scientists, engineers, inventors, and entrepreneurs in all of the world. So I implore you to keep going, to keep striving, to keep pushing the envelope, because we are so close to greatness, and we're so close to breaking through and winning on the highest and grandest of stages. From all of us at the Thomas A. Edison Regional Science and Inventors Fair Steering Committee, I'd like to thank Kiwanis, our community partners, and our community sponsors. I'm Lee Hughes, and I'm signing off with a Go Thomas, what? Congratulations to all our winners, and have a blessed evening. Good night.